Prosecutors accusing a mother of catfishing and harassing her own daughter. Authorities allege Kendra Licari secretly sent her daughter and daughter's boyfriend thousands of hateful texts and messages for months.
Support his head, for his head. Bro, I know what I'm doing, bro. Like, he ain't going backwards. Bro, is you cool?
Let me get home for a minute. Charge my thing. What?
I know that ain't what I think it is.
Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Jasmine, and today we are talking about how we have completely lost the plot. Today, we're diving into some wild stories. I'm talking like crazy. From a mom cyberstalking her own daughter for nearly a year and a half to a young rapper dropping his newborn baby on live. I think it's important that we talk about the rise of performative parenting and how vital it is to protect our children's innocence, both online and offline. When it comes to parenting, I think we need to take a closer look at what we're doing. At what point do you say, hey, this is actually weird? This is probably a sensitive topic, so I just want to reiterate that I'm just sharing my lighthearted takes, so please don't come for me. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm so happy to have nearly 500 of you on this journey with me. I'm hoping to reach 1,000 by the end of the year, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Okay, let's get into it. As someone who enjoys true crime documentaries, I can honestly say this was one of the craziest ones I have seen in a while. Now, this young girl, she was going to school, she was thriving in her academics, thriving in her extracurricular activities, had a healthy relationship. She was young. I think they were 13 or 14. And, she was doing her thing. And out of nowhere, she starts receiving these threats, death threats, all these text messages that were interfering between her relationship with her boyfriend. And they were really concerning texts that started out light and they started to escalate and just get really crazy and really scary. And come to find out, it was the mama texting, sending all these texts, threatening her own daughter, telling her to kill herself, just all these crazy things. And when I saw that, I was like, I had so many questions. When it was revealed that it was the mom, I literally sat up, had my sister pause this because she and I usually watch documentaries and, murder mysteries, and we love stuff like that. And when she told me that this one was crazy, I was like, we just watched the Ken and Barbie murders on Hulu. How much crazier can it get? I was proved wrong for sure because this one had me just gagged, honestly. She basically carried on this plot for about a year and a half. She was texting the daughter, she was blowing her up, she was making it seem like there was some crazy psycho stalker. Whole time it was her mom. It made me realize that sometimes your mom can be your biggest hater. I'm grateful that I have such a loving, supportive mom, but it just made me realize if you have a child, why would you subject them to something like that? Why would you bully and target your own child? That doesn't make sense. And to make matters worse, the mom was also stalking the boyfriend. I really think that she wanted the boyfriend because when they broke up, he started talking to somebody completely different. The mom started texting the new girl's mom, harassing her. So basically it was like he couldn't move forward without being stalked or harassed or without his love interest being stalked and harassed. And I just was like, of all things that you could be doing, with your free will, this is what you choose to do, to stalk your daughter, to be a hater. Bad thing about it is that the daughter is gonna, for the most part, have trust issues growing up because if you were crying to your mom every single day, receiving up to 50 text messages talking about you need to kill yourself, I'm with your man, me and him. I mean, they were very explicit text messages. How can you trust somebody? She's consoling you. She's like, it's gonna be okay. Going down to the police station, trying to figure out what she can do to try to stop this. Whole time she's causing it. Parents don't have enough regard, not all, but most in this generation don't have enough regard for how things can take an effect on their mental health. She's going to be scarred from that. Your mom did you the dirtiest. She betrayed your trust. She is your biggest hater, honestly, because some of the things that she was saying was just so outlandish and absurd. And of course, her justification made no sense. Truthfully, I think that she might have mental health problems. That's what she claimed in court. She did have to serve about a year and a half, which I think should have been longer because not only did she target her daughter and her boyfriend, she allowed another student to take the blame. Like, she was harassed and bullied and asked repeatedly, is this you? Is this you? Is accused of doing something so crazy and weird. So I feel like it should have been, her punishment should have been a little bit steeper, in my opinion. What's crazy, when I was watching it, I was asking my sister, I was like, why wouldn't they just get new numbers? Like, why wouldn't they change the cell phone numbers so the kids wouldn't have to be subjected to all those texts, right? Because if you're getting 30 to 50 text messages a day, I'm either taking your phone or we're getting a new number. So I thought that that was odd when I was watching it, but it makes sense because the mom was, she even said it, she was like, why should I have to change the number? And the whole time it's because she didn't want to pay to change a number because she was the one that was actually doing. I mean, just pure insanity. I am glad that she did have to take accountability for her actions. She was sentenced to some jail time. It just, again, makes me wonder, why have a daughter if you're going to do something weird like this? There's enough problems in the world, especially in middle school and high school. Things are so much different than they were back then. We had to worry about the schools getting shot up. We had to worry about, people targeting and bullying you online, how many likes you get on social media. We didn't have those problems back in the day. Yes, we have phones, but we didn't have Instagram and TikTok and all these competitive apps to where your social status is based on ranking, essentially. And to include that in the mix of your mom targeting you, sending all you these hate threats, and just, I can only imagine. Cloud culture to me has gone way too far. I'm sick of everything being shown online in terms of performance. Like, I don't necessarily agree with having children online for social media. I think it's exploitation in some ways. I know a lot of people have family channels and that's part of their brand and that's, their whole dynamic. But I feel like kids don't have the right or the say-so to be like, I don't want to be on camera. And this clip that I saw, it really just, and I'm going to give you a trigger warning because it is a little bit much. It made my heart drop into my stomach when I saw this because I'm like, there's no regard for babies anymore. Like, children are so precious and we're just not treating them as such.
Support his head for his head. Bro, I know what I'm doing, bro. Like, he ain't going backwards. Bro, is you cool?
Now, the thing that really pissed me off about this is, yes, the baby fell hard, and that's a newborn baby. Like, so much damage can be done to the child, but it's the fact that when the mother heard the cry and asked what it was, he just lied about it immediately. You're so focused about being on either TikTok Live or Instagram Live and communicating with people that you don't know to where you risk the safety of your child. Like, how do you drop a baby that fragile on its head that hard? Babies they're so small at that age. And I really hope that they took the baby to the hospital because that cry and that fall, it was not normal. And I hate to be the one to say it, but a lot of y'all shouldn't be having kids. A lot of y'all don't even deserve to have kids, to be honest. There are so many parents that will do right by kids, invest in them, raise them up right, pour into them, love them, invest in them, and can't have kids. And yet we have parents that neglect, abuse, just don't treat their child right. And they have multiple children. This cycle and a vicious cycle that I feel like we need to stop and see what we're contributing to, because not being able to take care of a child properly or not wanting the best for them or putting them in position to thrive is the problem. If you're not in a position to love them, treat them, raise them up right, it's time to reconsider. Maybe at a later time when you're in a position to provide them with those things, because they grow up to be angry, they grow up to be bitter, they grow up to be resentful, and child needs love, they need attention, they need consistent investment. And it's just the exact opposite of what we're seeing in today's generation. I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw that this woman had posted her daughter her first day of school, and she looked so adorable. She was excited for school. She had the board where it says, I'm going to kindergarten or whatever. And there were over, I want to say at least like 6,000 saved bookmarks. And people are commenting like, this doesn't alarm you to want to take this down? Like, all these people saving your kid. And it's just so sad that in our society today, we can't even post something as innocent as a child excited to go to school without it being sexualized and predators coming after you. And there are so many pedophiles and freaks and weirdos that be on social media. They're just waiting for the opportunity to either stalk or see how much information and context clues that you put so that they can do something disgusting, or they can, potentially try to harm your child. And I'm speaking as someone that's a godmom that's heavily invested into, her godchildren's life. We have to do everything that we can to protect these kids because we're living in a society where men prey on kids, they're getting away with doing stuff to kids, and it's sick. It's really sick. We've lost the plot in protecting kids, even if they're not their own. If I see a kid that's out, she's running past the door, running out the door, and the mom is trailing behind, I'm going to stop that kid and be like, wait for your mommy. Like, no, because it takes a split second for someone to snatch up a kid, lure them into a car. Just anything can happen. So we need to get back to taking even more precautions to protect these kids. To protect them offline just as much as you do online. Kids don't necessarily have the say so. They don't have the right to say, I do want to be posted online. They don't really fully understand that. Exploiting your kid and putting them on social media, it's like you're putting them in a world of danger, essentially, to be obsessed over, to be stalked, just all the crazy things. So when I saw that, I was like, people are really weird. What would make you bookmark a tweet or pictures of a child that you don't know, looking cute, happy, and going to school? Like, we have lost the plot.
Yeah, I mean, charge my thing. The light on.
Come on. Come on.
Oh, huh?
You playing, right?
Playing about what?
I know that ain't what I think it is.
This trend, challenge, whatever's going on, I can't wait till it just dies down. I hope it doesn't even pick up any more traction than it already has because it's so absurd, weird, disgusting, crazy, heinous. Parents are recording their child's reaction to them asking, do you have the charger to my vibrator? You heard me right, their vibrator. Recording their kid's reaction to them asking where their vibrator is. Like, when I say it's these phones, because where in your mind do you get to stop to record? First of all, even ask your child that question, number one, and then record their reaction and then post it. You're basically saying, oh, okay, I don't care if your friends at school see this and they don't, they think that I'm a weirdo, or they have no regard for the impact of what they post online. And when it involves them, they just think that it's funny or for likes and views. It's like, no, this kid has to go to school and their friends are probably going to come up like, oh, your mom asked you this or was being weird. And it's like, how do you live that down? How do you even respond to that? Like, yeah, my mom was being weird. She asked me that question, or she was just playing. It's like some things you just don't play with. You don't play with kids. You don't play with over-sexualizing jokes. You don't do this. And what makes it worse is that a lot of these people are Black. These are Black people doing this. Like, we got enough to deal with and beat the odds and the stereotypes, and then y'all want to go and do this? This is just trifling. Okay? Not everything needs to be for clicks, views, likes, trends. Just, who does this? You don't care about how the kids are gonna look at them or judge them, or it's just so weird. The things that we should be teaching in prevention or protection for the kids, we're doing to them. We need to normalize not oversharing at our child's expense. When I see lifestyle content, vlogs, and family vlogs, I really just kind of get the ick a little bit. And granted, yes, include your kid in photos or videos here and there, but to make them the sole focal point of your videos, I feel like it's where it's a problem. Kids don't have the right to say, Mom, I want my privacy respected. I don't want to be online, because just many moments growing up online that I would have never wanted to be shared online, I see on social media every single day. And I feel like it's such a violation to a kid's privacy. We've seen this with the Ruby Frank documentary. She took it to the extreme. She was punishing her kids because they didn't want to be filmed on camera. And it's like we're borderline pushing control on these kids and extra pressure when they're not asking for this type of attention. They're not asking to be seen in this light. There's so much pressure that comes with being on social media because everything needs to be so perfect. You know what I mean? There's one image that we glamorize. And when it comes to kids, we're stripping them of their innocence, and that's not fair. Kids, they need a safe space. They need that sense of security and protection, because when they feel that way, they're able to thrive. They're able to be their best self. And a lot of these situations that I've been seeing is actually hindering their growth rather than creating that environment to where they can really grow. Viewing a child as an investment is something that I think we should make a priority, because if we viewed it that way, we would see how important their safety is, how important their overall well-being is. You know what I mean? Like the mom from the documentary, she wasn't concerned about her daughter's well-being or her safety or her mental health. She could care less. She was like, this is my thrill for the day. I'm about to send all these text messages, and just being weird with no real regard just of the impact that it had on everyone. And I feel like today's parents in this generation, they don't really have real regard of how their actions or their lack of affects their children. And as a result, we as a society have to deal with these people as they grow up and, revolt and rebel and have all these issues because they're not getting what they need at home. So again, if you're not able to position your child for greatness, if you don't want them to have better than you have and are genuinely just happy for that child, don't have them. Like, you're doing a disservice to society. So in closing, I just want to leave you with a little perspective. When it comes to your kids, even if they're not your kids, it's so important to just keep a close eye on them and just think, in about 5 years, is what I'm putting out or what I'm doing, is this going to negatively affect them? If the answer is yes, I would advise you to just not post that video, not, say the thing that you really want to say, because the long-term impact it has on your child is more important than this temporary satisfaction or this temporary validation that you're seeking essentially from strangers. I just want more and better for these kids. Like, I feel like we are failing them. They are exposed to so many things that we weren't exposed to growing up, and it's just not fair. They don't have a say-so, they don't have privacy, and as parents, as the adults, it's on us to ensure that they do have that safe space. They do feel like they can come to us and trust us and know that we're protecting them. The trafficking, with just all the predators, it's so important to double down on our parental controls, to really ask ourselves, is this funny or is this embarrassing? Is this damaging to their reputation, to what they're going to have to experience growing up? Let's stop and ask ourselves these questions before we just hit post on these videos that really shouldn't make it to air. That concludes another episode. I want to know what you thought. Drop a comment below. Could you predict that was going to be the mom if you've seen the documentary? Do you feel like these parents are tripping, asking their kids where the vibrator is? I want to know all your thoughts. So don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this video, and I will see you in the next one.